So today I'm going to talk a little bit about how to clean and organize your own research. I see this a lot, especially on Twitter, where they're kind of like deciding like, oh, where do I put this, where do I put that, and they're also kind of worried where they don't really know how to clean up their role, and I think it's just some form of like inherent need to want to be able to clean and make things look good and pretty and organized everywhere. And there are lots of ways you can look pretty and organized, especially with the CSS code. And a lot of people have actually covered on how you can make color tags and how you can do like cool skins and formatting. But that's just design, and that is one thing. Today, I kind of want to talk about how you can clean up your room and why and how. Most important is how. Yeah. So the short answer for cleaning, how to clean and organize your room is don't. Don't bother trying to clean and tidy up your blocks and the way that you do things. And this is not saying where okay that that you shouldn't like tidy things up or you shouldn't organize things, but there is not any inherent mean, like there's not any real need to kind of have to have structured folders a little bit like Notion, or just like structured bookshelves for certain things. And I think a lot of us, when we use Roam, we are so we're still so trapped in this hierarchy in this like high I'm struggling with the word. It's 5 a.m. Um, in this kind of folder system, like Evernote or just our computers with folder systems, but we don't realize that blocks and ideas can actually exist in the same across different spaces, but and but they are essentially the same thing. Think about your Google Drive. How many times have you had one draft, same thing, the same kind of like file, but it exists multiple times in different drafts in different formats. Like you can have a Word document, and then you can have a PDF of that same document, and you can have an audio copy of that document, and you can have um, notes from that document. Essentially, it talks about the same thing. And I think blocks are really, really powerful. And I think Roam is very powerful, especially because it's able to block reference. What this means is that one idea, one block, atomic, is able to exist across across your entire database and at the same time. So, just for example, the way I see it, where if block one exists, block one is a block that I referenced. This is the block one that I referenced. So anything that I change, this is a block, will also affect everything else, right? Yeah, my room gets a little laggy, but not because of room, but more because of how much I mess with it. Yeah, and this is my personal database. So then this is subpoint of block one. This is second subpoint of block one, and within this certain subpoint, there's additional. Maybe I have additional notes to it. Like it can exist on this block as well, and it's like so whatever block you have, this block one, it can exist and its children can be applied. What this means is if I apply children as reference, it's still there. And like from here maybe I can make more notes. It's like, oh, this is one more sub point of that idea. And I can work on this essentially, right? So like I think block reference are really, really powerful, where you kind of don't have to worry where you start placing things. You just kind of have to put things there and make it exist already. Um, and the context of each block can be rephrased and reformed as you wish. So what this means is that the same block or idea can exist across your database across multiple pages and contexts at the same time. So yeah, don't worry about where to put things or ideas. However, I do prefer working in my daily notes. Like as you can see over here on the top, September 27, 414 going to save the day of a scuff moving video. I do prefer working in my daily notes in general because um, I think it helps a lot to have the context and roughly where and what I'm doing and the things that I did before and after, so that I have a rough gauge of like the kind of um inputs that I got or the kinds of general thinking that I have. Also, it just kind of eliminates the having to go back and forth across multiple platforms, across multiple pages. When I do my note taking, I just go in, I just type the time that I'm thinking this thought and I just do it. And when I'm searching this thought, I can just block reference, just like how I did for this block one, and make it come out in that context. Yep. And this is also important because I feel like I will have a rough gauge of how much I've developed my idea. So high chance that if I thought about this idea like 5 months ago, I've been using Roam for maybe about that time, 4 months ish, and um, possibly from 4 months ago till now, I've encountered something new that synergizes with this idea, or I may have spoken in this same idea in another context, and from there I can take active effort to go and link and create new ideas from this two different ideas. Uh, but whereas if an idea just came about yesterday, high chances I'm probably not going to find anything. I like probably haven't thought about it that much yet, and I don't really know what I'm talking about anymore. It's probably going to be the same thing, you know. So let's try and take a look at like what you probably want when you are looking at cleaning your room. Okay, if you look at it realistically, like cleaning up is just moving things from one place to another, right? In a physical context, like cleaning your house is just taking trash and putting it in a bin, and things like washing dishes and clothes is just taking dirt and bacteria and nasty stuff down the sewage. And we clean and organize because we need to minimize the things around us for so that things that we truly need are more accessible and not infect or dilute our spaces so that we can live happier and healthier lives. I mean, I take a shower because I'm dirty and it's because I feel nasty. That's why I can't have to take a shower, right? And it's just unhealthy and it's kind of gross. Yeah. So there's this cool tweet by Tiago Forte that I really like. It's knowledge management boils down to one principle: don't show too much information to a user at one time. And that's kind of similar to the way that we treat our physical spaces and now Roam, which is a note taking app, which is which allows us to think better in a sense. We don't want to be able to show too much information to the user at one time. In context of Roam, we clean it so that we can get information we need the most when we need it. So and when do we need it? It's when we work, process, build, create. When we do the things that would make us happy, the things that would make us feel fulfilled, and things that just fill our heart just with joy. Yeah, you know. So what will help optimize your room? Look at the same way you clean. Look at your normal cleaning routines and habits. Do you leave the dishes in the sink till the end of the day to wash? How often do you do your laundry? When do you take out the trash? And often we clean retrospectively. We don't clean really much for the future because there's no one-time cleaning, but rather we are constantly accumulating information and trash, and and we need to have a routine that we do on a regular basis. And most of the time most of the time it's when we feel a strong need to, especially when we have the icky, nasty feeling that we can't bear anymore. Yeah, I think this is why things like weekly reviews are really, really powerful. And overall, just creating a normal system where you look through your notes for the week. There's nothing really special about it. Just put things in different places. Yeah. Like, and I think that block referencing eliminates the need to delete or decide where to place things in your Roam database. And even then, sometimes deleting is hard. Like, I feel that a lot as well. For this case, you can just like archive everything that you feel is not needed. So what this does, so if you come across a blog that you feel like, eh, I don't really like this idea right now, literally, you can just literally write, I don't like this, I like, you can just literally write, you just tag and like literally write, I don't like this idea right now, and then you just like archive. That's all you have to do really. Yeah. But I do like this idea. I do like this block, so it's fine. So a good filter for what you decide to archive that I really like is Mary Kondo's famous line on this is, does it bring you joy? If this block doesn't bring you joy, then don't bother with cleaning it. If it doesn't, just archive it. Like it still exists within your database and it still can be searched. So you don't really have to worry. Either way, when you go back into the past, you probably will just glance through your notes. You don't even do any deep cleaning of your notes. And that's fine. Just chill. So, but to solve the other issues of searchability and minimizing inputs, last week or last couple of days, I put out a video called Chaotic Greenhouse Method, which is essentially just I just essentially use a random button and I retrospectively, chaotically um, dig out and form connections and ideas retrospectively. I love this a lot because it encourages you to find yourself on rabbit holes of just things that resonate with you or don't resonate with you. And I also use this chaotic greenhouse method to kind of pull the weeds a little, where I tag archived where on things that I don't resonate with. But I feel like sometimes it's a lot harder to not resonate with something than it is to resonate with something. Most of the things within my room itself are things that I have resonated with in itself. Yeah. So, but if it really, really resonates with you, all you have to do is just, this really resonates with me, and then just like hashtag like level 100 resonation, something like that. I don't do that very often because the things that really resonate with me kind of already I kind of tweet about it a lot, so it it's fine, I guess. So using this method, chaotic greenhouse method, you can just like tag things and make things more accessible with queries. Robert Heisfield is having a workshop soon on Path to Power User, how you can leverage queries. This is happening on October 3rd at 9 a.m. You can check out his Twitter, Robert Heisfield. I'm sorry if I butchered the name. Um, to find out more. Yeah, he does good stuff within your mentions as well. Like you can use filters to filter out the unnecessary things. Say within this page itself, I want to just see all instances of this project. I can just click on this and then it will just show me all instances of this project, but this entire page itself is showing this project, right? If I want to not see my archive, I just have to shift click and then just not see my archive anymore. It doesn't exist, so like I can just do that. It's fine. And that's what's pretty cool about Roam, where you can filter things out very well. It's just that I feel not enough people are using this function. um yeah. And also, especially powerful when you do to-dos. I won't open my to-dos because that takes very long for me, because I have a lot of to-dos. I have like 200, 300 plus to-dos. And but if you do some tagging within your to-dos itself, you will be able to see the context of all this. Like especially with projects, all you have to do is just do page projects, and then you just choose which projects you want to see. And this can work in the same way that you will work with other to-do lists or to-do apps, where you can do filters, you can do priorities, that kind of thing. Except I think it's a lot easier. The only problem is, I think, pings. Like it's hard to get prompts, especially when you're on your phone right now. But eventually, API just came out, so that's great. There's also this linked reference sorter by David Vargas, which allows me to D Vargas 92495. Yep. It allows me to just click this and it sorts by page title, page it's a created date. And this is very useful, especially when you're on the daily notes page. And if you're like me that I work in the daily notes page, this is very useful in it being able to see um like what are the things that I'm talking about. I mostly use the sorting by created date because uh it allows me to go bottom up, I guess. I just like it a lot. Yeah. um if you want a more centralized view of the project, nothing's stopping you from like block referencing or embedding into a project where it can exist in both places at once. And to do that, you probably already know the projects that you're working on. So for this case, like this project is scuffed roaming videos, right? Where I just kind of like anyhow do a video, but I show roam with it. And I just embed it here so that if I ever need to like go back to seeing all my scuffed roaming videos, I just I just blocked essentially I just blocked reference and I blocked all this. Yeah, and I just talk. I just block ref my entire thought process through this. And if right now I block ref this, but if I want to say one day uh change the script a bit, change it up, I can just apply children as text and it'll all come out as text. Yeah. But I don't want that right now. Or if I want to I want to edit this original block, I just have to replace with a empt, and it'll allow me to edit this original block. So anything that I change within this would change this side, would change the left side. Um, and also, say I don't want this to clutter up my daily notes page. All I have to do is replace with original and then bring nested items along. Yep, so it will exist in this page as well. Yep, and you see over here on the top, it is existing within this page and not within my daily notes page anymore. So if we go back to my daily notes page, I'm a bit scared of doing this. Yep, so you see it doesn't exist within my daily notes page anymore. It exists within my if this is a block reference to this page. But I don't want that right now. Yep, I'm cool with not having that. Yeah, so that's one thing that you can probably do. I also encountered a question on Twitter about tagging your roam, and I don't use tags very often as well. I prefer to freeform write and then retrospectively tag. I like to I like to comfort myself and tell myself that this is completely fine too, because while roam is a magic junkyard, there still needs to be some form of active effort on your part, where you are tagging things and building connections. It's like linking your own brain, like it's part it's your own linking and your own connections, which is part of what makes your brain yours and what makes your roam yours. Make the square brackets your own. Make the thinking in your roam your own. There is no one way of kind of doing things, and there's no best way of doing things. Make what you're doing your own. I think that's really, really lovely. So there are other tools that you can use. There's this script to select all empty nodes that if you want, you can just kind of like tweet me. You can just tweet me at Twitter. Oops, I spelled my own. It's Twitter. So that you can just tweet me at bdodo, and I can send you this empty script to select all empty nodes. I found this on Reddit, but I can't really remember the source because I didn't put the names, and that's why context is so important. But at this point of time, I did not know context, so so yeah. I know this probably wasn't very helpful in teaching you how to clean Roam, but I do hope that this kind of assures you to just use Roam in whatever way that you want and less of its supposed way, I guess. Uh, And thank you for watching, I guess. Yeah, I will. Maybe one day I'll cut this up. Maybe one day I'll clean this up. But the point of all this is for me to make it scuffed and make it whatever I want. And you guys are forced to watch 20 minutes of video. Feel free to watch it at 2 times speed. I love it. Thank you. Have a nice day.